Ooh, all right. I think we need to get to the bottom of this. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing really to get to the bottom of. It's just more like we need to talk about this Tenacious D situation. That's really the truth of it. I mean, this is this is crazy. This is ridiculous. This is madness. Um, I am like I'm honestly I'm shocked. I'm baffled. I'm speechless. I'm speechless, and yet I'll have plenty of speech in just a moment to discuss it. So the bottom line is the bottom line here is that Tenacious D is no more, as I understand it. I was, searching for different I was searching different headlines and stuff. I remember distinctly seeing somewhere that um Jack Black has left, is done doing Tenacious D, but all I can seem to find is just stuff saying the tour is canceled and Tenacious D has been temporarily postponed. But how did we get here? What happened? And in order to get here, we need to talk about Trump, because Trump is the primer for the spark that set off the brush fire in the Tenacious D camp and caused this mondo band drama, beef, a house divided, that has just left Tenacious D in shambles. And the thing about Tenacious D is that there's only two members of the D. There always has been two members of the D. There's the Rage Cage, there's Jables, and the Rage Cage, right? Isn't that what they're known as? And these guys have been doing Tenacious D for over 30 years. In fact, let me just look this up. I'm kind of curious now. When did Tenacious D officially start? Okay, so Tenacious D started in 1994. Here's what the Wikipedia says. I thought they had a straight up. I don't know. I think they're broken up. I think they're broken up, man. I don't think this is. I think a hiatus is not the right way to categorize what's happened to the D. It really bums me out because I've never seen the D live. All right, so here it says that they're on a hiatus, and this is their 30th year as a band. For some reason, I thought they had started even earlier than that. Jack Black and Kyle Gass have known each other since 1986. They were members of the Actors Gang theater troupe. They were not initially friendly, as Gass was the main musician for the Actors Gang and felt threatened by Black. But eventually they traveled to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 1989 to perform Tim Robbins and Adam Simon's play Carnage. The two became friends during that trip. And then they bonded over music after that trip. But Black did not learn guitar until he was around 23. I mean, he'd been acting for a long time, Jack Black. Since as a child, he was doing commercials and stuff. But the D really got started in 94. And eventually they had that HBO series, right? They had the HBO series, the Tenacious D series, which was kind of the basis of eventually the amazing cult classic that is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, right? And they released their main album with Dave Grohl on drums in 2001. That has all the good songs on it, Tribute and Effort Gently and this, then the other. Pick of Destiny bombed, but it bombed. I don't know why it bombed, because it's a friggin' masterpiece all around. It's a shame. It's a shame that it did bomb, because just so good. And then Rise of the Phoenix came, right? Rise of the Phoenix was the comeback, one hit. We just need one hit. And Post-Apocalypto is, like, I guess, the current era of the D until the Spicy Meatball Tour. Okay, there we go. We've brushed up. We've caught up now with Tenacious D, and they had two new original songs, the Spicy Meatball song and Video Games. Those are the two new Tenacious D songs. Now, here's what the Wikipedia says officially about the incident. On July 14th, 2024, Tenacious D celebrated Gass's birthday during their performance at the ICC Sydney Theatre. A birthday cake was brought out and Black encouraged Gas to make a wish. Gas responded, "Don't miss Trump next time," referring to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump the day before. 2 days later, Black wrote on social media that he had been blindsided by Gas's comment, that he did not condone hate speech or political violence in any form. Tenacious D canceled the rest of the tour, and Black said that their creative plans are on hold. Gas apologized on social media, calling his comment highly inappropriate, dangerous, and terrible mistake. So that's like the story in a nutshell. And I guess it was good to kind of just read it on the Wikipedia, because just instead of chasing around like what is what. And then here are the two statements that were made. The Instagram seems to be the format for which to make statements. So here's what the band. Jack Black says, "I was blindsided by what was said on the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans for their support and understanding." And Kyle said, "The line that I improvised," notice how he says the line that I improvised. So Jack says he's blindsided. And mind you, I'm not going to watch the video, but you watch the video, and I don't know. I don't think Jack doesn't seem that blindsided. He just says thank you at the end. He could have been blindsided. But here's what I read between the lines of that video, and I kind of have my own idea as to what might have happened. I'll go into that in a second. I'll give my take, my two cents in a minute. Let me finish what Kyle was saying. The line that I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. And he's right. He's right. That is true. I don't condone violence in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain I've caused. I got to tell you, whether he's right or wrong, whatever the case may be, and there's a lot of, lefties who are very bloodthirsty right now, in the same way that, oh, thank God, fucking Bob is here in the comments. I miss Bob a lot, actually. We haven't had Bob on the show in a long time, but at least he's here in the comments. That's good to know. So hopefully he'll chime in and give his take. Yeah, like the left, especially the progressive left, they're very bloodthirsty. They're bloodthirsty right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like kind of disgusting because, they love clutching their pearls when the right pulls this kind of shit, like the stuff that happened with Paul Pelosi and the comments that were flying. I mean, the man was attacked with a hammer in his home, and and every tribalistic righty was like, Paul Pelosi's lover, blah, 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 like just all that stupid friggin' stuff, man. Stupid. And now it's happened on the reverse foot, and there's like some progressive left that I've seen online who are just like, Kyle Gass did nothing wrong. That's one of the things I've seen. And then there are other people who are upset with him, and of course Jack Black is upset with him. And I'm trying to like where do I fall in all this? Well, first, let's talk about what happened to Trump for a minute. Trump was, there was an attempted assassination attempt on Trump. Now, I truly dislike Donald Trump in every conceivable, with every fiber of my being. Do I hate that man? I try to save the word hate for very, specific situations, because if you say I hate too much, then you kind of dilute how powerful it is to hate something. I hate Donald Trump. I do. I hate everything that he represents and everything that he stands for. I hate Donald Trump. I do. I don't think Donald Trump deserved what happened to him. Nobody deserves that. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not like looking. There are some, as here, the best way to put it is Mark Twain famously, and I guess not famously, because I guess Mark Twain didn't actually, this was misquoted to Mark Twain, but Mark Twain is said to have said this. It's something along the lines of, I never wished anybody dead, but I certainly took delight in reading certain obituaries. And I feel like that's where that is exactly how I feel about a guy like Donald Trump, who absolutely must not regain any kind of power. The fact that we're even at this place, the fact that he possibly could, and what happened, you know, is incredibly scary in the sense that, like, look at how it was such a laser focal, like a magnifier for his resolve, for that to happen. I'm not going to lie. When it first happened, I was like, is this staged? And then I found out someone lost their life. I was like, I don't think this is staged. But initially for the first, within the hours of it happening and watching the video, I was like, this could be staged. And then I was like, whoa, oh, come on. Hold on a second. Like, just a second here. There's no way that this could be staged. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. The point is, going back to Tenacious D, I'm losing it here. Going back to Tenacious D for a second. So Kyle Gass says that on stage. What do I think possibly really truly happened? I am sure behind closed doors that Jack Black was probably joking with Kyle Gass about Trump and Trump potentially being assassinated. They had to have been talking about it. I feel like everybody who doesn't want Donald Trump in power doesn't necessarily want Trump to have been assassinated, but almost is kind of like a little bit like, because that would have kind of solved a lot of problems. It's kind of like that old sort of mafia thing. Like, the mafia just used to make people disappear because it solved problems. Like, not that it was a good thing, but just that was their solution. Like, if you're not around anymore, then you're no longer in opposition to me. And that's good. That's good for business. Before we continue, let's talk about our sponsor, riotstickers.com. If you need stickers, if you want stickers of Jack Black or Kyle Gass, or Dave Grohl's The Devil, you can get them in the shape of those guys via riotstickers.com /Frumess, Frumess. The link is down in the description. You get 200 stickers for $69. 69, that's a magical number. I mean, what a great deal. You just can't, it just can't be beat. It can't be beat. What can I say? So go there, riotstickers.com /Frumess. And we'll be right back to talk more about this Tenacious D situation.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too, posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads, we can print on shirts, we can print on hats, we can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality, quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support, great customer service, and so much more. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
And that is a promise. Okay, we're back now. Let's take a look. Let's look at some of these comments here. Let's see what our friend Bob Rose has to say. Bob Rose says, "It angers me to all hell that people are acting like Jack Black said anywhere that they aren't friends anymore. He did not." Okay. I have not read that he said that they were not friends, but in terms of, he says they are still friends. They didn't even say that Tenacious D is over. Okay. On this last part, Bob, maybe they didn't say. I was actually searching because I saw somewhere that Jack Black has left Tenacious D. I can't find that anywhere, but here's why I still put that these guys have broken up, because he says, after much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour. So the tour was canceled and all future creative plans are on hold. So I guess the Wikipedia was accurate in saying that they are on a hiatus. Well, that's not a breakup, but I mean, I don't know, man. And then Kyle Gass gets dropped by his talent agency over this situation. I mean, this looks like it could be the end of the D. But, look, in the past, they have managed to, especially after the Pick of Destiny, you think that would have been the end of the D. It was not. the end of the D. The D came back. Bob says, Kyle Gass is a comedian and made a bad riff on stage. He wasn't condoning violence and he shouldn't. Of course. Of course. Chris says, world's gone crazy, man. Got to keep telling ourselves just an election season. Yeah, right. Bob says, here's my guess. Being the target of right-wing hate means they don't want to be on stage in front of crowds for a bit. I'll be honest with you, Bob, and this upsets me greatly about Jack Black. I feel like here's the bottom line. Here's where I fall in all of this, you guys. I condone even though as much as I hate Donald Trump and would not mind reading his obituary, I condone any and all hate. Again, any and all violence against anybody, including Donald Trump. Okay? That's just not how I'm built. That's just not what it's about. Okay? That's how we got here in the first place. So that's number one. Donald Trump doesn't belong dead. He belongs in jail. Okay? He belongs in jail. And that's it. Bottom line, right? I think in Kyle's heart, he thinks that. He must think that. I'm sure Jack Black must think that. However, I also think that those guys probably were joking a lot about him dying backstage. That's what I think. I don't know that for a fact. That's what I imagine. They're just cracking jokes and whatnot. And I think maybe Kyle Gass felt very comfortable saying that on stage without checking with his main man first. And we know who wears the pants in this relationship, and it's Jack Black. Jack Black outside of Tenacious D. For those of you who are not aware, I know that many of you, if you're a fan of the D, of course you know what the deal is. You know what the Tenacious deal is in the Tenacious D. By the way, Kyle Gass, I saw someone make a joke online. Kyle Gass could totally like go out as Tenacious Me while this hiatus is. That would be funny. That would have been funny. Who wears the pants? Who wears the pants in this relationship? It's Jack Black. Jack Black outside of Tenacious D is a mega Hollywood A-list actor, okay? Who makes millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's beautiful to see that for 30 years or however many decades after him breaking out, he broke out in like the 2000s, that he is still dedicated to Tenacious D. And essentially, not that, Kyle does his own thing, but that Kyle, some of Kyle's, elevated profile and success is due to Jack Black a little bit, right? You know what I mean? Here's where I'm disappointed in Jack Black, because here's the honest truth. Kyle Gass made a mistake, okay? What he did should not result in Tenacious D canceling their shows, should not result in a hiatus, and should not result, if it is happening, and it may not be happening, if it is happening, if they are splitting up behind the scenes, if that is happening and they haven't reported yet, that none of that should occur. These guys have been fucking friends since 1986, man. So the idea of this one joke causing so much damage, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I got to tell you, as far as apologies go, as far as taking responsibility for what he said, Kyle did a good job, man. That's what I'm reading in this situation. This is what he says. The line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate. He's acknowledging that he improvised. He's acknowledging that he was inappropriate. He acknowledges that it was dangerous and that it was a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry. He says, I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. Are you, like, all you fucking, liberals and conservatives who are, like, up in arms over what Kyle said, are you telling me you've never suffered from a severe lack of judgment in your life? Like, chill out, man. Chill out. He says, I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret. And who did he let down? Who he let down more than anything because of what's happened, whether it was the rightful action or not. He let down all the people that were working on that show. All the people, the stage hands, everybody who eats on Tenacious D, on the Tenacious D tour, was let down by what Kyle said. Unfortunately. here's my disappointment in Jack Black. I feel like Jack Black, the statement that Jack Black made was not the right statement. He rolled his friend, dude. That's what it reads to me. He says, I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. Nothing about, hey, this is my friend of 30 fucking years who's been with me through thick and thin. I fucking love this guy. We are the D, blah, 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 blah. You know, like we make mistakes. Instead, he's sort of, he's distancing himself. He's distancing himself. And it just like, that bums me out, man. That bums me out. How are you not going to back up your guy? So to me, and you know, and then the what conservatives and just some people are saying that I'm seeing the things that are within my small sphere of internet that I see, I'm seeing all sorts of people going, oh, Jack Black loves being a celebrity too much and basically let his friend down. And, you know, maybe it's not to that degree, but like, I mean, yeah, it kind of is, man. Like, it's kind of like, it's just a bummer. Like, obviously, like Kyle, you know, he made a dumb joke. He made a stupid joke and it got him in a lot of trouble. Got these guys in a lot of trouble. Now, you know, I mean, you know what? The other thing that really bothers me about this is that, you know, I don't know how familiar with any of you are of like The Rock. The thing that I've sort of learned about The Rock over the years is that this guy will do anything to look good in front of his audience. Like The Rock is like, he wants to remain neutral. He never wants to say anything controversial. Not that that's bad, but it's just like, dude, like, what do you believe in? What do you stand for? Do you just pander? Do you just pander to whatever, like, you need to pander to keep your base happy? And I feel like that's what Jack Black's doing right now. And it bums me out. I'm not going to lie. It bums me out. Because it's just kind of like, really? You're not going to stand by your friend? And what's interesting about both of these statements is that Kyle does not mention Jack in his statement, and Jack does not mention Kyle in his statement. That is, now, Bob in the comments, I'll go back to the comments in a minute. Bob was saying they're still friends and whatnot. But I got to tell you, it's kind of, it does make you rub your chin when you go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not even going to mention the other guy in the comment of the, you know, you're just mentioning Tenacious D. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And, you know, Jack Black, I got to tell you, Jack Black has FU money. He does. He has FU money. Like, the guy has made millions and millions and millions of dollars in his, you know, A-list Hollywood career. I mean, he could withstand the storm of standing by his friend. You know, obviously, Jack Black is very passionate about Tenacious D, you know. And then the reaction from the right, and there was like some senator guy who like wanted them to leave the country. It just, the whole thing is, I guess, I mean, look, it's politically charged, man. It's politically charged. There was an assassination attempt on a former president. It just so happens that it was Donald Trump of all people, man. Like, it still makes me like, it's so surreal, man. It's so surreal that whatever, that he was the president. Hold on. I'm going back into the comments for a second. Bob says, here's my guess. Being the target of a right-wing hate means we already read that one. Kevin 45 is here and he says, I imagine Black has to protect his A-list movie star. Exactly. John says he was never a fan. Well, and he says that I heard Kyle is a creeper too. What have you heard? I have not heard that. Tell me more about that. Is that just what you heard, or is there actual stuff that's come out about that? Bob says, I doubt Jack had anything to do with Kyle's agent dropping him. Right. So Kyle's agent dropping him, although I do believe they have the same agent. I don't think Jack Black would instigate such a thing, but the reaction, like from a comment, dude. I mean, this is where, you know, look, I used to believe that cancel culture didn't exist, and now I'm somewhere in between. It's like because people get canceled, but they don't stay canceled. But there is this sort of like, there's this pitchfork mob mentality bandwagon where people are basically erased out of existence or negated or ousted or, you know, condemned by court of public opinion forever for, you know, one remark. And it's just like, fuck, dude, we're human, man. We're all human. We all make mistakes. Like, where, like, is there any, like, it's enough. It's enough already. And this one particular to me is just like, I mean, like, let's inverse this. Let's say that he made that statement about Biden instead of Trump. To me, it's still, and I'm not a Biden supporter at all. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. But if he had made that statement about Biden, like, I would not think, oh, you know, like, I wouldn't want him to be dropped either. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy. It's so crazy. What's up, Whiz Bang? What's going on? Bob says, I should say for context, I'm a massive D fan and Jack fan since the earliest days of their HBO TV show. I mean, so am I. I love them. I love them, man. And I love that movie, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Oh, Bob, I think that goes in my top 40 movies. I have to finish that list. Kevin says he should have said jokes on him. When you speak your wishes, they don't come true. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. It was stupid, but no reason to stop the tour. And yes, Jack does laugh on stage. You could chalk it up and say, oh, it's a nervous laugh. Oh, I'm too lazy to watch the video. We should watch the video though, right? Like, to do this right, we should. Here's the video right here. I'm going on my Twitter account.
Don't miss Trump next time.
Well, we didn't see the end part. He said, I think, what did he say at the end? He said, thank you or something. You want to know something? Like, it sounds like just an impromptu. It really does sound like an impromptu, edgy, you know, stupid thing to say. That's what it was, man. I can't hold it against him. Bob says their apologies were enough. Of course they were enough. The funny thing is, Jack Black didn't need to issue an apology at all. He just needed to stand by his friend. Because by Jack Black, like, sort of distancing himself by not standing up for his friend, like, has actually kind of, like, made this whole situation even worse. It's gotten worse because of Jack Black. I'm sorry to say. Because if Jack Black had just been like, Kyle is my buddy, he said something stupid, but like, let's be more reasonable here. Let's be reasonable here. You know, I think that cooler heads would have prevailed. And he didn't do it. He did not do that. And it bums me out, man. It bums me out. Yeah, John says Jack wants the Disney DreamWorks money. I mean, he's kind of spineless, like The Rock, man. Like, The Rock is spineless. The Rock was like, Joe Rogan's my best friend. And then when he found out that Joe Rogan said the N-word, he's like, just completely backtracks. You know, this word, I hate this word because it's like kind of like a conservative slang, and I hate it. In the same way that, like, woke has become like a really cringe word. This is a cringe word too, but it really describes The Rock and frankly describes Jack Black right now. These guys are cucks, man. That's like some cuck shit. Not gonna lie. That's what it is. Like, stand up, like, deep down. If Jack Black is like, still loves his bro and is still bros with Kyle, he should have been like, I got your back, bro. Not like, you know. Bob says, Jeff, I'll admit it would have been nice if he affirmed his friendship with Kyle and his apology. I agree. Yeah, it just amplifies it. It amplifies it. If this is your live show, show us your tatas, Jeff. Okay. Just this one time. There you go. Free in the nips. Are you happy? You've seen the tatas now. I disagree, Johnny Bob. I love Tenacious D. They're great. Imagine telling the 1999 version of yourself one day Tenacious D will headline political news because of an assassination attempt on a former president. Tenacious D is such an underground act. You know, it's funny, like take it one step further. And that president is one of the cameo stars in Home Alone 2 with Macaulay Culkin. He's a reality TV show star who actually managed to become president. Like I still cannot believe that happened. I still cannot, like, it's still sometimes like I'm like, what reality? Like we are living in some strange alternate reality, man. Alexander says, I think nothing came of the Burger Records thing. All those bands are still happening. That's not true. That's a whole other conversation. But Alex, I mean, No Bunny is gone. No Bunny destroyed himself. Well, he got ahead of it. He basically canceled himself. I will say this about No Bunny. No Bunny probably could have kept going. Okay. He could have kept going if he had really wanted to, but he acknowledged what he did, whether it was kind of a non-apology too. He acknowledged what he did and then he canceled himself and has not resurfaced in over 4 years. And, you know, whatever I may feel, however conflicted I may feel, gutted by No Bunny, I will say the dude did cancel himself and has remained canceled. Here's the thing. Thank you for bringing back that up or reminding me about the cancel culture thing. We live in this weird sort of, oh no, I said it already, about like how, like, you know, you can fart wrong and get canceled and then like you're canceled forever, or like you get canceled, but you get canceled for a little bit, but it's not really being canceled. So like this idea of like, it's not canceled is not the right word. It's just like, I don't know. It's this weird social, court of public opinion condemnation thing that just sucks, man. I hate it. Bob, every frame of Pick of Destiny is like the best scene ever, especially like Meatloaf and Ronnie James Dio. Oh God, it's so fucking good. Just everything. Ben Stiller's great in that movie. I just love it so much. Do I love that movie? Will Smith laughed at the joke too. Where did Will Smith laugh at the joke? Hannah Gray says, what's this video about? I don't know. Hannah, you got to look at the title. Look at the title of the video. The discussion is really about the place of offensiveness in comedy. Thank you, Kevin, for refocusing it. So let's go there. Like here's the thing about comedy, and here's my problem. Like, this is what I grapple with. And I'm not saying that I have the answer or I don't have the answer. I don't know what the right answer is. One part of me feels like, here's what I think about comedy. One part of me feels like comedy is a sacred free speech that must be protected always. If you're standing on a stage and you're not inciting people to violence, or to hurt other people, that your comedy should be protected no matter how dark or mean or whatever it is. Now, the flip side is, there are some things that I think are sacred and should not be joked about, or I don't find humor in them. And it's just me personally. And I know that this doesn't work for everybody. 3 things that there's more than 3, but here's 3 things that I find no humor in at whatsoever. Like, I just don't find any humor in these 3 things. And they're off the top of my head. And there's more probably, but here's 3 things that just, like, and I'm almost like thinking like, oh, this would be a good clip for my channel, but this will be a magnet for people to make those jokes. And then I don't know if I want to pull that on myself. But the first thing that I think I just can't joke about, or I don't find funny in any way, shape, or form, is 9/11. 9/11. Maybe it's because I was so close to 9/11. I was, just up the stream, right? I was in Westchester. My father was supposed to be in the World Trade Center that day, and he didn't have to go. In fact, my father, who is a headhunter, which is an executive recruiter, he puts people in jobs, and he put somebody in the World Trade Center, and that person died. He lost his life, and that really jacked up my father. My father felt a lot of guilt for that. Obviously, it's not my father's fault, but it It's trippy to think that you put someone in a job and that person went to their job on that day and they died. And had he not put him in that job, that maybe he wouldn't have died on that day. So that's like a weird thing. Will people be able to make jokes about 9/11 in 100 years? Yeah, of course. I mean, people making jokes now. People making jokes a year after 9/11. Me personally, that day is such a sad, like, I just don't find it funny. I just don't find it funny. It's a very somber time. And that's grown over the years. It gets worse, doesn't get better. My feelings about 9/11 intensify with every year. I think about the picture of the falling man, and I just go, fuck, what a fucking trip that is. We'll have to do a video about that someday. All right. Second thing that I just do not joke about. I just don't find it funny. Holocaust jokes, not funny. It's just not funny. It's because I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. I've been to Holocaust museums many, many times. If I was in Europe in the 40s, in Germany or Poland or whatever, I would be in a concentration camp. I don't find it funny. I just don't find it funny. I just can't, especially in light of what's happening right now. Just everything that's happening. Holocaust, not funny. I know there are some Jews that find the Holocaust very funny and they make jokes. And I am a firm believer in black comedy and black humor. That doesn't work for me. Okay. So even though I believe that all humor should be protected, there's just some humor that I do not subscribe to. Third thing, the death of John Lennon. Do people make jokes about the death of John Lennon? I think so. Not really. I think what happened to John Lennon is so utterly fucking sad. I could never it's just not funny. It's not funny. Like when Tesco V sings two down and two to go, he's talking about the Beatles dying. There's nothing funny about that to me. Maybe it's because I love the Beatles so much. I find the death of John Lennon to be so cold-blooded and sad and terrible and tragic. Can't make jokes about it. I mean, just in general, I guess I don't make jokes about tragedy in general. But so while on one hand, I think that all comedy is sacred and should be protected and like that's it. At the same time, like those are things that I just don't find funny. So, yeah, it's like a really, really weird thing. Now, do I think that Kyle Gass's joke should be protected by that sacred space of humor? He was on a stage when he made a joke. And here's why I say no. I don't think it was protected in this particular case. I think he made a mistake. I think he should be forgiven and that we shouldn't be making the deal that's being made out of this. However, he did make a joke that was an invitation to violence, and that should just never be done. So it falls into that category. So that's my 2 cents on that. Aaron says, I think Kyle's from my hometown in Walnut Creek. Thank you for that contribution. Biz says, I thought it might have been too. Kevin says, I always remember the Guar joke the day after this incident. Unaliving is no joke, but Lincoln Park is. Oh my God. I wish I had read that before I read it out loud. I just was reading it. I didn't know it was going to end that way. Damn it, Kevin. The Burger King guy. What are you talking about? Was that the guy creeping on his female bandmate? I don't know what you got to understand who you're referencing. Bob says, how many stand-up specials in the next year will feature jokes similar to what Kyle said? That's the crazy part, is that they probably will, and they probably won't get any of the friggin' heat like that this is getting. That's part of what this is. They are underneath a magnifying glass. They are ants under a magnifying glass that is directly being put in front of the sun. You know what I mean? That is probably what's going to happen. Comedy is meant to not be politically correct. That's true. And that's why, even though I hate jokes about 9/11, the Holocaust, and the death of John Lennon, I understand that, that they're protected by the sacred barrier of comedy, whether I like it or not. I personally don't like them. I personally don't find them funny. I'll personally choose not to laugh, but I'm not going to. And maybe if you laugh and you laugh in front of me, it might not make me feel good about you. It might make me cringe, but I would never outwardly judge you for it. I would judge you internally and just sort of, walk it off. But it would bother me probably a little bit and be like, I don't know, man. Kind of bums me out that you think that you laugh at the Holocaust like that, because it's just not fucking funny. It's just not. John says, I think Fat Mike's gaffe was worse. What Fat Mike said, actually, it wasn't Fat Mike. It was Elvin. It was Eric Melvin of No Effects. What they said about Las Vegas, that was terrible. That was a terrible joke. That wasn't an invitation to violence, but it was a joke of such poor taste, man. I think if you were going to, if you're going to do any, I remember David Cross had a comedy special. I love David Cross, by the way. I love David Cross's comedy. But his comedy specials have gotten worse over the years. He's just gotten too serious. I don't know. He tries to be so, he did a comedy special about like school, school pew pew. And I was just like, fuck, this is dark. Like, this isn't funny. Like, this happens every day. Like, I don't know. I can't laugh about this. I don't know, man. Like, do I just take this stuff too seriously? Like, I don't know. Careful says, if Robin said fucked up shit, it wouldn't be Batman's fault. Yeah. Bob says, my favorite comedy podcast, Kill Tony, says, worse shit than Kyle said several times an episode. It's the #1 live podcast in the world, still happening. But, the podcast that you just mentioned, which I've never heard of before, and I'm sure is the #1 podcast, like, it's not, doesn't have the same public profile that Tenacious D does. So when Tenacious D says something like that, it's the fact that Kyle Gass said something like that. It's the fact that it came out of Tenacious D's mouth. It makes it so much more shocking. People love clutching their pearls, man. They love clutching pearls. Like, that's part of the problem. I really like this comment. And I this is why I do think the comedy is protected, even though I hate it, about like 9/11. We need to be able to laugh at our pain. Yes, yes, that is also valid and true. Need to laugh and keep crying. Yes, that's the beauty, and that's the beauty of comedy, and that's the beauty of dark black comedy, pitch black comedy. And I do love pitch black comedy. Here's the thing about, and this is gonna, I don't know, I gotta say this very carefully. Pitch black comedy, really sort of racy comedy, like comedy that is like really spicy, that walks the fine edge of whatever, almost invokes involuntary laughter. There's that type of laughter where we're laughing so hard at something that is so wrong. We know how inappropriate it is. We know that we shouldn't be laughing, and yet we laugh anyway, because universally, intrinsically, deep down inside of our heart, we know it's funny. We know it's funny because it's wrong. And I've definitely laughed in those moments privately, going, oh my God, this is really bad. I should not be laughing at this, but this is funny. Like, and that's the thing about humor too, is that, we don't get to discriminate against what we find funny. We might find something funny that's not funny, and it's just funny because it's funny, and we can't help ourselves. And I don't think that makes you necessarily a mean-spirited person. It's almost involuntary. It's kind of like being tickled, I think, to an extent. Johnny says, well, the joke is technically inciting violence, which you just claimed to be against. Which joke? You mean what Kyle Gass said? I mean, I am against inciting violence. I am. I'm saying that humor should be, protected, except for, inciting violence. I don't remember exactly what what No Effects said does kind of count as inciting violence too. This is a weird thing. Aaron's making a really stupid comment here. He's saying 4 of my dad's friends died in Pearl Harbor. Oh, shit. Oh, I misread that. I am so sorry. Okay, wow. Never mind. I thought you said 4 of my dads. I didn't see your dad's friends. I thought you were literally saying that you had 4 dads and 4 of your dads died in Pearl Harbor, not 4 of my dad's friends. So I misread that. I am sorry. But isn't it interesting that now look at an event like Pearl Harbor, which also happened at the same time as the Holocaust. And Pearl Harbor used to be like a 9/11, and it's not a 9/11 the way that 9/11 is a 9/11. And that's probably because a lot of the people that were around were dead. But yet at the same time, the Holocaust doesn't feel like a 9/11 the way the 9/11s feel. It's just, I don't know. And that's just how I feel. Bob says, my dad died on 9/11 in 1998. That is really friggin' tragic and sad. And I mean, it's just, no matter what year it is. Kevin says, I saw Will Keenan from Romeo and Juliet start a fight with a comedian over a 9/11 joke. What was the 9/11 joke? I need to know more. And I like Will Keenan as an actor. It's kind of funny how Will Keenan and Troma have never come under fire for Terror Firmer, because some of the subject matter in Terror Firmer, you would think, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've watched Terror Firmer. I don't know what side Terror Firmer falls on whatever message it's trying to say or not say. But I have a feeling that like, if more like progressive liberals knew about Terror Firmer, they would be like, there'd be pitchforks trying to bang down on Uncle Lloyd's, whatever. You're not a Jew. Don't be so hard on yourself. I don't understand what that comment means. I don't know why it's in quotation marks. I was going to ask about meat men. I don't know what you're saying, man, about Jews. Can you explain better? I don't understand that at all. Latino comedy is lighthearted, coming from a Latino guy. I don't know too much Latino comedy, but I feel like that's true. I feel like from what I've seen, that is true. Yeah, Bob does bring up a good point here. Let's not forget South Park, the South Park rule. It took exactly 22.3 years for a tragedy to become comedic material. Is that when they joked about 9/11, I'm guessing? I don't know. I mean, look at Team America World Police. It's kind of amazing that Team America somehow has not come under fire. South Park truly is Teflon. They have managed to take that notion to the absolute pinnacle of being impervious to criticism, because everything they do is farcical comedy. Bob says Jack's an enormous supporter for Biden a few weeks back is the reason they made such a huge deal. Yeah, interesting. So there you go. I didn't even know. I knew he was obviously he's left A-list celebrity, Hollywood celebrity. That's what this is all about. So that's what this is at the bottom. So Kyle made a comment, and they had the heat pushed on them because of Jack Black's affiliation with Biden. There you go. That really kind of explains the whole situation. However, what I find even more interesting about that notion, is that, wait, what was I about to say? Now I sound like Biden because I forgot what the hell I was going to say. What was I just about to say about that? Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. Here's one thing where I know he was improvising a joke. And when you have trust, Kyle and Jack they have 3 decades of trust between each other. But here's the ultimate reality, is that when you say stuff publicly, you can fuck up your brand. You could fuck up who you are. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. And the reality is that Jack is affected by what Kyle says, right? He is, to an extent. So no matter what the state of their relationship is behind the scenes, if Jack was to be upset with Kyle and be like, yo, man, come on. You when you say that, you affect both of us. It's just like with the Beatles. Whenever one of the Beatles said something ridiculous, whenever John Lennon made a ridiculous statement or Paul made a ridiculous statement, All the Beatles suffered. Everybody suffers. You have to consider the people that you're floating in the boat with, you know. Matt says, hey, I'm pro breakup. Bands last too often. People need to separate and re-energize themselves. Yeah, man, but come on. It's Tenacious D, dude. The D can never die. Can never friggin' die. Bob Rose says, David, yes, he does. David Cross keeps getting more and more bitter about the world, and it shows in his stand-up, but it's not funny. It's not funny. His stand-up in the 2000s was so fucking good. That whole bit about Gabriel on the rollerblades, mwah. I loved his early comedy CDs. But he's so like, I mean, I just was watching his, whatever he did in like 2018, maybe it was. I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Matt also likes Cross too. I like it when comments get dark and heavy often. Eddie, I already answered this question sort of. The answer is I don't know if Jack is pissed at Kyle, but I do think that, I mean, if you do want to read anything, read the fact that in this statement, he doesn't say anything about defending his friend. That definitely says something. I don't know what it says, but it says something. Kevin says, I learned this from Alice Cooper. Can't get over something without laughing about it. True. When he had dancing bottles on the stage after his sobriety. True. Bob is getting really existential here. He says, existence itself is the ultimate joke. You gotta laugh. What are you going to cancel me for? Like, honestly, why? I don't want to be canceled. I don't need to be. Now, that was a good joke. My Four Dads was a great show. Ha 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 ha. Pablo Francisco is hilarious. Check him out. I will. Jeff so insensitive. Oh, okay. Now I understand. I'm just catching up in the comments here. That's part of the problem. This is when I felt bad about being dismissive of the Four Dads. I had sex with my Four Dads on an elevator. It was wrong on so many levels. Bob, the worst part of that is that you didn't videotape it, and we're not doing a commentary on it right now. Now I see. Okay, cancel me. You can cancel me. Yeah, am I a Nick Fuentes fan? Wait, is Nick Fuentes the guy that isn't he the white supremacist that was friends with Kanye West and like hung out with Trump? Terra Firma is almost so offensive that I think it's a cartoon and therefore it gets a pass. It's been some years since I've seen Terra Firma, but I just feel like how has this gone under the radar? How has people not gone? Jeff, it's just a joke from the South Park movie. I think you're referring to the Jew thing. Okay. It's been a minute since I've seen the South Park movie too. Of course, Bob would have the Team America soundtrack in his CD player of his car right now. That's hilarious. That's another movie that I am due for a revisit. Truly. Am I a Mencia fan? No, I am not a Mencia fan. I actually greatly dislike Mencia. I never thought Mencia was funny. I thought Mencia tried too hard. He was a joke stealer. No, never. Nope. And yes, you were just kidding. Okay. I think we've reached the end, guys. Do we need a Jerry Springer final thought here? I don't know. Eddie's very offended and he's out of here. Eddie, I'm so sorry. Please don't be upset. Please. Aaron says, Terra Firma the movie, that cute chick gets banged by a pickle. She does. They sort of they play with a pickle. Pickle play. There's pickle play. Bob says, I don't hate many comics, but Mencia is the worst. He really is, man. Carlos Mencia is the worst. And you know what the worst thing about Carlos Mencia is? He just didn't fucking admit it. Just fucking like, bro, like just admit it and move on. Just own it. Crosswalk Larry says, I think deep down, Kyle is jealous of Jack's career. His comment was a bit of a passive aggressive sabotage. I don't know about that. That you might be right. Kyle might be jealous deep down inside. Maybe Kyle's a little jealous of Jack's career, or the fact that he kind of, he's benefited greatly from Jack's career. How about that? I remember watching one of the Tenacious D DVDs. Kyle was super pissed that the Tonight Show was on. I don't know, man. On one hand, it's like, what do you do in that situation? Your best friend or your bandmate becomes super big. You got to fucking be happy for him and champion him. And I feel like Kyle has been really great in that. And Kyle has benefited in that kind of way. Kyle has benefited in that kind of way. Only had Jack in the interview chair. Put on your sweater. And I'm getting people want me to show my tatas, want me to put on a sweater and loafers. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, Mencia was a hack, man. He's a nothing. He's a nothing. Bob says, no offense to Kyle, whom I deeply admire and love, but Jack is a once in a lifetime level talent. Jack has carried those guys, So for Jack, if Jack, I'm not saying he is, if Jack was pissed at Kyle, I guess he would have a right to be pissed at Kyle. If anybody has a right to be pissed, it's really Jack Black. He's like, dude, because when Kyle makes that joke, because Jack is tied to Biden, it becomes a politically charged issue, but for Kyle to be dropped, I mean, come on, think about all the things. And this is the last thing I want to say. All right, here's the last thing I want to say here, maybe. I'm trying to be serious. You guys are making it impossible. By the way, we're going to be doing an anti-show coming up, which is just basically a conversation like this with the comments. Okay. That's coming up very soon. So be aware for the anti-show. It's the new experiment where we have nothing planned. We just come up here and just hang out and talk. And that's it. Just back and forth. You guys are letting these comments, they keep coming, and I'm trying to get out of here. Bob says, yeah, you could argue the D would still be touring and releasing stuff if not for the engine of Jack's career. Wouldn't be still touring. Yeah, I mean, Jack has propped up the D, but listen, the D always had a cult fan base, but Jack's profile exploded. I mean, let's put it this way. The pick of destiny would have been the death nail on the D, if not for the fact that Jack Black's career was so big that they were able to do Rise of the Phoenix. One hit. Jack Black's been acting for a long time. I interviewed to work for Trauma. They didn't pay. Yeah, Trauma does not pay. Thank you, Johnny. I'm glad that you enjoyed the lives. I like doing it too. It's nice when there's a lot of comments, because then we can keep the live going, because there's a lot of back and forth. We're having a conversation. It's nice. If I have somebody to talk to, I don't even need a topic. We could just go, if people prompt me, we can just go on and on and on and on and on. Bob is bringing up my favorite factoid about Jack Black. Now, how about this? I'm going to take this one step further. Thank you for bringing this up, Bob. Not only, and I got to Google the picture too, not only is Jack Black the villain, he's part of the Nasties. He's a villain in the Never Ending Story 3. But Jack Black in the Never Ending Story 3, in my opinion, is the perfect Negan. That's right. If you watch The Walking Dead, if you read The Walking Dead comics, you will know that the perfect casting for Negan is actually Jack Black in the Never Ending Story Part 3. Look at this. That's fucking Negan right there. That to me is Negan. So if you've ever read a Walking Dead comic, look no further than Jack Black in the Never Ending Story Part 3. I mean, that's Negan. That is Negan, dude. Like it's a crime that Jack Black didn't get a chance to play Negan. If he had just, was a little bit more, he's a little beefy there, before Jack Black got in his sort of, his beautifully round, I will say. Look at him in that leather jacket. He's Negan, dude. He's fucking Negan. That is a weird movie, The Neverending Story 3. I wish that he played Negan. That would have been so good. He would have been the perfect Negan. I like Jeffrey D. Morgan as an actor. I don't think he was good Negan. He wasn't a good Negan. But Jack Black in The Neverending Story 3, Negan, literally the walking embodiment of Negan. Let me tell you something. If I ever met Jack Black and I could say one thing to him, I would say two things. I'd say, number one, you were fucking amazing in the movie Airborne. That's the first thing I would say. And the second thing I would say, and he had like a nothing supporting role. The second thing I would say is you could have played Negan in 1993 in the Neverending Story 3 version of you could have played Negan. Two things I would have said to Jack Black if I could talk to him. That's what I would say. You remember that? Aaron, sorry, the comment got cut off. Kyle was pissed that only Jack was asked to be on the Tonight Show chair for the interview and that Jack didn't say we both get to be interviewed or we walk. Well, I mean, if it was for Tenacious D, that's what should have happened. But listen, at the end of the day, Jack Black is the star power. I don't know, man. You're not, John, you've not offended me with South Park. I've seen every episode of South Park. I love South Park. You know, it's again, South Park is that weird space where like, you know, they occupy this weird space where they're just kind of like, everything's okay. I don't know. Bob says Jack Black is also the pilot of the plane. Yes, of course I know that. Duh. Fucking duh. He's in the Ulysses cut of Waterworld, by the way. And there's more Jack Black too. But yes, he is the pilot in Waterworld, cut out for the theatrical version, except for one shot of him in goggles. And he's almost unrecognizable. And the TV cut has a whole scene with him. More than just a whole scene. There's like 2 or 3 scenes with Jack Black. Crazy. So crazy. Yes, of course. Airborne is a masterpiece, guys. The Devil's friggin' backbone. It was for Tenacious D. They performed, not bashing Kyle, like them both. If it was for Tenacious D, I mean, that's the bottom line is they both should have been on. What's an extra fucking chairs? 2 guys in the fucking band. 2 guys. If there was more than 2 guys, let's say there were 5 guys in the band and there's like, all right, one of the guys is going to be the mouthpiece. He's going to go out there. You got 2 guys in the fucking band. Both guys should be on this, on the thing. I love High Fidelity. Really, really great. Okay, guys, that's really it. I got to go. This is the end. My final thought on the whole sort of situation. I think I already said my final thought, but here's like the last thing. The right and the left, neither of which I think I identify with. I most certainly don't identify with the right, but I really sort of feel very alienated by the progressive left for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into right now. I'm an independent. I guess I'm an independent. I'm a left-leaning, left to center independent, maybe. I don't know. Although I feel very socialist about a lot of things too. But the thing that is so infuriating about the binary political system that we seem to be endlessly trapped in, that boggles my mind, besides the Electoral College, besides all the bullshit, is the fact that the fucking right plays dirty and the left, like, look at Al Franken resigning because he did this. He did a picture like this. Was it right? Of course not. But like the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was convicted of 37 felonies. Not to mention what happened on January 6th. Like, it's just insane. The different standards, the dirtiness by which they fight. Merrick Garland, or whatever the hell his name was, supposed to be a friggin' judge. They blocked him because it was an election year. They wouldn't let Obama install a friggin' Supreme Court justice because it was an election year. What did they do the moment Trump got in the White House? Months before an election, they put Amy, whatever her fucking name is, in. And what happened? What happened to Roe v. Wade? It's just insane. It's insane. They break all the rules. So it's like we're dealing with one half of our society that wants to completely subvert any kind of actual democracy that we fucking have. And the other one is like still playing by some imaginary rules that stopped existing 12 fucking years ago. I just, God damn it makes me so mad. It just makes the whole thing makes me so mad. I'm so cynical, you know, and it's just like seeing what happens to Tenacious D just is like such the epitome of this garbage. Where like, look at like Matt Getz is like a frigate, like look at everything that Matt Getz has done. Nothing happens to this guy. Tenacious D makes one bad joke and their whole shit is torpedoed. It's just stupid. It's just so stupid to me. Oh, God damn, does it make me mad. And like, you know, the thing, all right, I'm going to get a little political here. You know, what really kills me about Biden, we saw what, but I have no confidence in Biden. Do I still wish that Biden and the Democrats were in control for the next 4 years? Yes, because that means not what is potentially coming from the other side. But the idea, and listen, God bless Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Like, God bless her heart. I love that woman. I do. But she should have stepped down when she did. You know why? Because when she didn't and she died as a fucking Supreme Court justice, what happened? What happened? She died when Trump was in the White House. God damn, that was stupid. And now here we have Biden. Biden did what he was supposed to do. Biden was supposed to friggin' just win in 2020, and he did it. And he undid a lot of the damage for the last 4 years. That was it, Biden. You're done. You did your goddamn part. Move out of the way now. You're 81 years old. You look like you're going to fall over in 2 seconds. The guy they won't pretend that he doesn't have friggin' Alzheimer's, dementia. It's like the guy is not fit. He's not fit for this. And the fact that Trump could lie through his teeth in a debate, the fact that Trump is even up there after January 6th, this is insanity, people. It's insanity. The fact that he could beat Biden in a debate when everything Biden said was real and true. It just, oh God, is it scary. It's just so insane. It's just so insane to me. And that's my problem with the Democratic Party, man. Like they have these opportunities to be the hero and they don't take it. They love to be like, yeah, we're the good guys. We're the good guys. So then be the fucking good guys. Act like the good guys. Do something. Because we're in this binary two-party system where nothing can get done. I'm tired of it. Make it a friggin' parliament. Give us some more parties. Give us some more options. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's so stupid. Sorry, it's just how I feel, though. Like, I never talk about this stuff on here. I always keep it to myself, but it's like what's happened with Tenacious D has inspired me to speak out about all this stuff. The whole system is messed up. The fact that Trump could get in on the technicality of the Electoral College, it's an antiquated system from when slavery was legal, right? Slavery used to be a legal thing. Think about that. And the fact that the Electoral College is predicated on the 3/5 compromise, which was left over from fucking that a slave makes up 3/5 of a person. And we're using that in 2020? We're using that in 2016 as part of our fucking system? It's just so goddamn stupid. I mean, what are we thinking? The idea that our democracy was predicated on a couple of swing states? I'll never forget. I voted third party in 2008. I voted third party. I voted for the Green Party because I wanted to exercise my right to vote. And my dad laughed at me. He laughed in my face. I said, "Why are you laughing at me? I voted." He goes, "Because your vote doesn't matter." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You voted in a blue state." And I was like, "So?" And he's like, "The Electoral College." I'm like, "What's the Electoral College?" I was 22. I didn't know what the Electoral College was. He explained it to me. I'm like, "Wait, so you're telling me that even if I vote in a blue state, it's still going to be blue because of the majority, because of the whatchamacallit, The friggin' people, the guys that do the slate. What the hell are their names? The electors, the people. We don't go by the popular vote. It's just so fucking crazy, man. Oh my God. It's just so crazy. Like the fact that everything comes down to Pennsylvania. The fact that Mitt Romney in 2012, what really fucked him up at a donor dinner, he said, I don't care about 47% of America because 47% of America is not going to vote for me. And that all he really cared about were, he wasn't visiting every, he was visiting specific swing states because that's all that mattered for the vote. I mean, we should be visiting every fucking state. Everybody should matter. Oh. That's it, guys. That's my Jerry Springer final word on the situation. It was a zombie crawl. Elliot, the beauty bar, no less. Aaron says this is like the best episode. Thank you, Aaron. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's kind of morphed. Some of the best episodes we've done on here are the ones that kind of evolve out of whatever the subject was. So that was good. But all right, listen, I'm really going to go. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for the anti-show. Okay. The anti-show is coming up. It's going to be a lot like this. We're just talking. We came up with it the other day. It's just the idea. I'm going to come on here. I'm not going to have any topic. It's just all about the chat. Maybe we'll go to something, but the show will be as interesting and last as long as it does based on your participation. So I need your participation. Jody Ramon is here. Hi, Jody Ramon. Sorry, whoa. Oh, it's an ant. I thought that was a cockroach, and I freaked the fuck out. Ants are cool. You're cool, Mr. Ant. I thought there was a cockroach that just crawled on the table. I freaked out. Thank you, Jody Ramon. All right, everybody. Peace. Hair grease. We'll see you next time here on the Frumess channel. Goodbye.